Hey, what's up guys, Jets10 here, and welcome back to another airport update of awesome Zeppelin International Airport. So I would first like to apologize again for going dead on YouTube, and if you all follow me on Instagram, I apologize for going dead on there again, on both platforms. I just keep losing track of time. Work is taking up a lot of time, schoolwork is, but I'm on summer now, so that'll leave me a lot more time to do stuff. So I know I said I wasn't going to do another airport update until I started making the airport look a little more realistic, and this is kind of what I'm doing. I'm building these terminal foils, or these terminals out of balsa wood. I purchased the foils off of airportdioramas.com. Definitely a nice purchase. I'm not like shouting them out, or, well, I am shouting them out, but I'm not like, you know, they're not sponsoring this, obviously. I'm just saying, really good product. It's very solid. It adds definitely a lot more realism to any model airport. The reason why I don't have the side foils on is because I'm going to get some circular satellite concourses, circular foam pieces to go on the end of the terminals and act as semi-satellites. If you guys have ever flown into Las Vegas McCarran Airport, or if you've ever just seen it, you know what I'm talking about. The Southwest terminals and the Allegiant terminals got the little things on the end. It just adds in for more gate space, so that's why you just see the bland end of the terminals. Yes, I've still got this wooden piece here and here, because I haven't gotten time to make the rest of the terminals. It's very time consuming, and again, I have very little to no time. But anyways, there's several new models in this airport update. I'm not sure how many of them are new to you all, but I know there's a couple that I can definitely verify. So let's start off down here at the cargo terminal. So right here we've got these Zeppelin Cargo Airways, very bad looking, and I have no idea what that splotch is. Custom model. The Zeppelin Cargo Airways Airbus A330-200 freighter. This aircraft's going to be, is just pushing back, fully loaded, going to make a flight out to Atlanta, and then continue on to Paris Charles de Gaulle. Right here we've got a UPS MD-11 freighter. This aircraft is just offloading cargo from Anchorage. Came from Beijing originally, stopped at Anchorage, now it's here. And don't mind the white pieces, like the little pieces of white. It's drywall dust, because I screwed some shelf brackets into my wall to put up a new shelf, which is not up yet. The brackets are just up. So then right here we've got the Air China Cargo 747-400 Boeing converted freighter, custom model. This aircraft is just offloading bags, or correction, just offloading cargo. Came in from Beijing. Right here we've got the UPS 747-400 freighter. This aircraft came in from Hong Kong, going to be making a flight up to Louisville. Let's just go around the airport to finish up with the cargo terminal, and then we're going to hit Terminal 3. And then right here, this is the first definite new model that I can verify for y'all. The AZIA Cargo 7478 freighter came in from, we'll say, Anchorage Jeddah, via Anchorage. It'll be heading back out there in about 8 hours or so. This, by the way, takes place just a couple of days, not a couple of days, just actually a couple hours after the 737 MAX was grounded, and you'll see why that in a little bit. So then I've got actually two new models, just one new model here, which is the WestJet 737 MAX 8. This aircraft landed in from Calgary a couple hours ago, and then the FFA announced that all 737 MAXs were grounded. So this aircraft is just over here at the regional stands, waiting to be ferried back to Canada in a couple weeks. And then right here we've got the Air Canada 737 MAX 8. Same, just with this guy, came in from Vancouver before getting grounded here. It's going to be ferried back to Canada in a few weeks. And then right here we've got the American 757-200. Don't mind the screw in the back there. I'm not going to try and fix it. I'll mess something up. But this aircraft is a museum that is permanently here. And yes, I know this is very not realistic, but this is just a museum. It's an aviation museum that's parked here. It can be used for private events and different stuff like that. I know I've tried doing that a couple of times, but this aircraft will most likely stay here. I just wanted to bring it back on the table just to see her. So she's gonna be sitting there at the back of the remote stands. Then I got kind of like just a blast shield. So then moving on here to Terminal 3, which is the Delta Terminal, and also SkyTeam International flights. Each terminal has a, aside from the, well yeah, each terminal has a Customs and Border Protection facility, so international flights can arrive and depart from all 3 of the passenger terminals, which is very nice. And that's why all the SkyTeam partners, well, the only 2 SkyTeam partners right now that are international, which is Korean and KLM, fly into this terminal. So yeah, right here we've actually, the Hawaiian also parks here, as well as JetBlue and Alaska. They lease gates at this terminal just so their passengers can connect more easily. Anywho, so right here we've got the Hawaiian A330-200. This aircraft came in from Honolulu this morning and is getting ready to head back out there in about an hour or so. So it's just getting food on right now. Empty Delta gate to where the A321 will be heading. Right here we've got the KLM 747-400 Combi. This aircraft came in from Amsterdam this morning, and it is getting ready to head back out there in a little bit. Departure time scheduled here in about 2 hours. Right here we've got the Delta 737-900 with split scimitar winglets. This aircraft came in from Seattle, Tacoma, and in a little bit is going to head out to JFK. Right here we've got the JetBlue E190 in the blueprint livery. This aircraft came in from Long Beach. It's going to be heading out to Boston in a little bit. Right here we've got the Alaska 737-800. This aircraft came in from Seattle, going to be heading out to Portland. And I'm sorry, this guy's not heading out to Boston. He's also heading out to JFK. I'll stop hopping around. We'll do the international side in a minute. So we already went over Alaska. So right here we've got a Delta MD-88 pushing back. Going to be heading out to Los Angeles. And then we'll say Salt Lake City. Sorry, came in from Los Angeles, pushing back right now for Salt Lake City. I'll move to the other side of the table one more time. And then right here, another new model that I can verify. I think one of the final ones in the airport update. Yeah, it should be. Anyways, this is the Delta 757-300. Beautiful aircraft. Very happy I purchased this. I was looking for it for a long time, and then Gemini re-released it recently. So I was able to pick this up for not a ridiculous amount of money like the older ones were going for. Anyways, this aircraft came in from Atlanta, and it's going to be heading out to, we'll say, Minneapolis in a little bit. Right here we've got the Delta Connection E1, I believe E170. I'm sorry if I mispronounced, or correction, I'm sorry if I butchered that, or just flat out got it wrong. Anyways, this aircraft is just arriving in from El Paso, Texas. Right here we've got the Delta Connection CRJ 700, operated by SkyWest. This aircraft just came in from, we'll say, Albuquerque, New Mexico, and it'll be heading out to Brownsville in a little bit. By the way, this aircraft right here was operated by, we'll say, Compass. And then right here we've got the Delta Connection CRJ 200, also operated by SkyWest. Just made a flight in from Midland, Texas, and it will in a little bit fly down to Brownsville, Texas. So then moving on to the remainder of the internationals, we've got the gorgeous Delta A350. Getting fully serviced, getting fuel, bags, and the crew on board. Going to be making a flight out to Narita here in a little bit. And then right here we've got the gorgeous Delta Airbus A330-300, just getting passengers and last minute food on for, we'll say, Paris, Charles de Gaulle. So moving on here to Terminal 2, which is the main international terminal, as well as American Airlines international flights operate out of this terminal. Starting off here, we've got the Virgin Atlantic 747-400. Just made a flight in earlier from London Gatwick, going to be heading back out there in a little bit. Right here, we've got the Swiss Airbus A340, I believe 300, correct me if I'm wrong. Yes, I believe the A340-300. Yes, I know, I don't know my own models. Yes, I'm sorry, shoot me. Anywho, this aircraft arrived in from Zurich, and yes, this aircraft is not in this particular paint scheme anymore, but the aircraft is still flying, so as long as it's still flying, I'm going to keep it out there. And anyways, it'll be heading back out to Zurich in a little bit. Then right here we've got the gorgeous Etihad 777-300 in the new livery. I'm not sure if I should say new livery, because it's relatively current. Anyways, this aircraft arrived in from Abu Dhabi earlier, Abu Dhabi United Arab Emirates, and it'll be flying back out there in a little bit. Jumping over here to the taxiway. Right here we've got the Delta Airbus A321. This aircraft just arrived in from Detroit, and it'll be heading back out to Northwest Arkansas. Yes, I know that's kind of a random destination. Right here we've got the Air China 7879. This aircraft just arrived in from, or arrived in earlier, sorry, from Beijing. It'll be flying back out there in a little bit. And then right here, the only Air Canada flight that arrives into this particular terminal, because Terminal 1 cannot process any wide-body aircraft. Anyways, this Air Canada 7878, yes, I know, in the old livery, just pulling into the gate from Toronto. Air Canada does one daily flight to Austin on the 7878, to Zeppelin Airport, sorry, on the 7878 from Toronto, and this is the only aircraft that arrives here at this particular terminal, because the rest of the aircraft arrive at Terminal 1, which is kind of the domestic terminal, kind of not. Anywho, right here we've got the Emirates Airbus A380-800, and yes, I know this table is warping extremely bad, so again, shoot me in the comments if you'd like. This Emirates Airbus A380 in the England 2015 Rugby livery just arrived in from, sorry, not just, arrived in earlier from Dubai, United Arab Emirates. Going to be flying back out there in a little bit. Right here we've got the Qantas 7879, arrived in earlier from Sydney, going to be heading back out there in a little bit. Right here we've got the Qatar A350-1000, going to be, sorry, arrived in earlier from Doha, going to be flying back out there in a little bit. Right here we've got the American 777-200ER, it's just being towed over to the remote stands. This aircraft arrived in from Tokyo Narita this morning. Won't be making a flight again until later tonight, so it's just finished getting processed. So it's being towed over to the remote stands until later. Then right here, pulling into gate, running about an hour and a half behind schedule, we've got the British Airways A380-800, just arriving in from London Heathrow. Right here, taxiing to the domestic, to the gate on the other end of the domestic terminal. We've got the Frontier A320, correction, A320neo. Might be an A319. I believe it's an A320. Yes, again, I don't know my models, so shoot me. Frontier A320neo, Champ the Bronco, just arriving in from Denver. Going to be making a flight up to Chicago O'Hare in a little bit. And then last but not least, for the international terminal, we've got the American 777-300ER. This gorgeous aircraft just arrived in from, we'll say, Rome, Fukushima, and in a little bit it's going to be making a flight out to, we'll say, London. I'm sorry, arrived in from London, going to be heading out to London. Yeah, I won't send that to two different destinations, since American's only a Focus City airline here. So, onto the domestic terminal, Terminal 1. Terminal 1 has two concourses. This longer section's Concourse A, and this section's Concourse B. Concourse B has its own dedicated customs and border protection facility in it. It's not in the main terminal. Basically, what that allows for is Canadian and Mexican or origin flights to arrive in here, and the Customs and Border Protection facility in this concourse is not at all busy, so it just allows those airlines' passengers to be processed a lot more quickly. Anywho, yeah, did want to say that. So right here, we've got the United Airbus A319. It's just getting passengers off, arrived in from, we'll say, Denver. It's going to be heading back out to Denver in a little bit. Right here, we've got the American 737 MAX 8. This aircraft just landed in from, we'll say, Phoenix. It was going to make a flight out to JFK, but that flight was canceled because of the MAX groundings. So this aircraft's just getting its bags and passengers off, and then this aircraft will be towed over to the remote stands until they can find a place to store the aircraft, probably somewhere in the US. Right here we've got the American Airbus A319. It's been a while since I've had this aircraft in the airport because it was broken. I was able to fix it, so it's back. Anyways, this aircraft is just arriving in from LAX, and it was originally going to stay here overnight, but it's actually going to be heading out to New York JFK to replace the 737 MAX. Yes, I know I said that flight was canceled. I lied. It was rescheduled. That's my fault. I had that in my head, and I don't know why I said it was canceled. Anyways, right here we've got the United Eco Skies 737-900ER just arrived in from Chicago O'Hare. I'm going to be heading back out there in a little bit. Right here we've got the American 737-800. This aircraft just arrived in from Dallas Fort Worth. It's getting passengers off, and it will continue up to Chicago in a little bit. Then right here we've got the Air Canada Express CRJ-900. This is an absolutely gorgeous aircraft. So glad Gemini released it. So glad I picked it up. In the new livery too, so it's absolutely beautiful. This aircraft just arrived in from Montreal, and it will be heading back out there in a little bit. And then right here, we've got the Air Canada Airbus A321. This aircraft originally arrived in from, we'll say, Vancouver this morning, and it was originally not supposed to head out to Vancouver until later tonight, but it is replacing the 737 MAX that was grounded. So this aircraft's just loading up for Vancouver. And then right here, the one other lone aircraft here, the one lone domestic aircraft, sorry, is the United Express Embraer 145. Absolutely love this aircraft too. It's pretty rare now from what I can tell. Anyways, this aircraft just arrived in from Houston, and it will be heading back out there in a little bit. And this actually, I've got kind of a little, it's operated by a fictional regional airline called Zeppelin Airways, which does about 10 round-trip flights between here and Houston just to connect the super hubs of George Bush and the super hub, the just international super hub here at Austin. So yeah, that is obviously fictional. The real Austin airport's definitely not an international super hub if anybody's ever flown in there. Speaking of, I'm actually flying out of there in about 2 days from the time I'm filming this video. Going to be making a trip out to Vegas. So definitely an airplane shop trip coming in there. Stay tuned for potentially a video. I'll tell you what, if this video gets, we'll say, I don't know, if this video gets really positive reviews, just positive comments, and a decent amount of likes, I'll do a vlog inside there of just going to the airplane shop and what I buy and stuff like that. So yeah, stay tuned for that if this video gets a good response. So then to wrap things up, we've got the southwest side of the terminal. Southwest is another Focus City airline, and it leases 2 of the gates temporarily, sometimes to both Allegiant and Frontier. But these 4 gates are Southwest gates, so once I pick up more Southwest models, you'll start seeing those aircraft swap between each other. Anywho, this is the Allegiant MD-83. It's just got the baggage belt up there. It arrived in about half an hour ago from Las Vegas McCarran, where I'm heading in a little bit, or in a couple days, sorry. And we'll be heading back out there in about an hour and a half, so they're not bringing down the baggage belt. Then right here we've got the Southwest 737-700 Triple Crown 1. This aircraft will be operating a flight out to Las Vegas, and then it will head on to Oakland. It came in from Midway via Love Field. So Chicago Midway to Love Field to here to Vegas and then to Oakland, so busy day ahead of it. And then, last but not least, we've got the Southwest 737-700 in the Canyon Blue livery. This aircraft just arrived in from Orlando Sanford, and it will be making a flight out to New Orleans before then flying up to, we'll say, Nashville. So yeah, that just about wraps up this airport update. I don't think there's anything that I missed. There shouldn't have been. Sorry that this airport update just kind of had, you know, like a low down, slow, kind of boring vibe to it almost. Got kind of a sore throat right now, but I did want to get this airport update out before I flew to Las Vegas, especially since I had the time. Hope you guys didn't mind my messy room surrounding the airport table. But yeah, definitely more airport updates to come this summer. Hopefully I'll get all those terminals finished and the airport will look great here in a couple of months. I'm also going to pick up a bunch more of the jetways. This is a fresh pack of narrow-body jetways that I picked up that you see on this part of the terminal, the 6 jetways that are all there. Anywho, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Again, if it gets a nice positive response, I'll do a vlog at the airplane shop in Las Vegas here in a couple days. And not sure if I'm going to do a trip report. I mean, yeah, maybe I'll do a trip report. I'll tell you what, I'll do a trip report. So yeah, trip report and possibly an airplane shop vlog coming up here in the next couple days, so y'all stay tuned for that. I hope y'all enjoyed, and I'll talk to you guys later. Have a wonderful evening, stay sweet, stay positive, and good night, y'all.